Hello, students of interpersonal communication. A few of you have been in touch wanting some detailed directions about how to access the podcasts, which are available on iTunes. And I'm putting this short video together to give you some directions about how to do that. From our course page, you can simply click on the iTunes button. Now, it is absolutely essential that you have the most recent version of iTunes loaded onto your machine. The most recent version of iTunes is version 10.127 or something like that. They came out with a new version of iTunes in the course of the last couple of weeks, which is not unusual for iTunes. iTunes typically updates the entire software suite about once every 2 to 4 weeks, which is kind of annoying because you have to have the most recent version of iTunes downloaded to interact with iTunes University. And that's just kind of a way that iTunes makes you download the most recent version of their stuff. It is good because it helps to keep the system virus free, and means that you can interact with it, and be fairly confident that you're not going to, get malware or a virus or something like that. So, from our course homepage, after you have gone to iTunes.com and downloaded the most recent version of iTunes, you will simply click on the iTunes icon. Once again, this security warning is asking you if you want to go outside of the HTTPS protocol, which is this thing up here. That means that you're behind a password protected firewall. You're going to say that you are in favor of doing that. So do you want it to give you stuff that's only secure? No, I want to go outside the firewall. You're going to scroll down to launch OSU iTunes. It's going to think about it for a little bit, and it will launch an instance of iTunes. And you saw there that it immediately launched a new version of iTunes. And there it's brought me to the OSU OKC, or I'm sorry, rather the OSU Stillwater iTunes homepage. From the OSU Stillwater iTunes homepage, you will scroll down, and these are all different courses that are using iTunes within the OSU system. You're going to click on Humanities. Remember, that's the department that I run, and Speech is the only class that has any on the podcast up here right now. And you will simply come down here to find yourself a podcast. You will click on Get, and you have the opportunity to load that podcast onto your home machine, or to save that onto a machine, or to listen to it right there. Um, Very important that you make sure that you have the most recent version of iTunes. Even if you're on a very fast internet connection, we're talking about a rather large file. The file is, in often cases, it's over an hour in length for an MP3. So it's going to be several megabytes in size. You're going to want to make sure that you're as close to your wireless router, or even better, hooked up to a hardline if available. So that's the process of logging into iTunes. The critical factors there are your bandwidth speed, because the file is really large, and your ability to log into the most recent version of iTunes, because you're going to have that most recent version of iTunes in order to be able to access that podcast. However, after you've accessed it and downloaded it, you're able to listen to it there in iTunes, and you can of course hear me droning on about chapter 1 there in the background. So best of luck with that process, and I think that if you'll follow those simple directions, make sure that you have the most recent version and that you've got a lot of bandwidth, you should be just fine. Good luck.